A historic Soviet spacecraft, which blasted off on a mission to explore Venus more than half a century ago, has finally landed, just not on the right planet. Cosmos 482 crashed back on our planet Saturday. And joining me now to talk more about this failed mission is Dan Riskin, CTV science and tech expert. Dan, good to speak with you.
Yeah, this is a really cool one. I'm glad we're talking about it.
Tell me, where has this spacecraft been all this time?
It's been going around the Earth. So, I mean, this thing launched it was launched by the Soviet Union. I mean, that reminds you how old this thing is. Way back in the early 70s, and it launched, and then a rocket, once it got into orbit, a rocket was supposed to sort of send it on its way toward Venus, like its twin sister had 4 days prior. And so 4 days before, there was a successful launch, a successful burn to go toward Venus. And there was a whole mission that went to Venus in July, landed on the surface, recorded data for about 60 minutes before the spacecraft finally died, because the environment there is so unbelievable. It's like twice as hot as an oven, and it's like 100 times more pressure than we experience on Earth. So, like, I don't care how well you build it, it's going to die there. So it died in about an hour, but this spacecraft that was supposed to be doing the same thing didn't even get out of orbit. And so this titanium, protected 1,000-pound thing has just been stuck in orbit around the Earth, slowly falling toward the Earth. But when I say slowly, I mean it took more than 50 years for it to finally get caught by the atmosphere enough that it crashed.
Yeah, we're hearing it came hurtling back to Earth on Saturday. Do we know where it landed?
Nope. We have some guess, but there's no camera. I mean, I was hoping that, we'd at least get a video of it or something. But, the thing is, with an orbit around the Earth at that kind of rate of speed, I mean, we're talking once every hour and a half or so, it covers the entire globe. And this thing had an orbit that took it, far north and far south. It could have landed literally anywhere in Canada, but also a lot of other places on Earth. It wasn't going to land on the poles, but it could have landed pretty much anywhere. And so as the date approached, as we knew it was getting closer, the sort of confidence intervals got tighter and tighter. But ultimately, the only way we knew that it had landed is that when Europe looked at the sky and expected to see it go by, it did not. And so they said, oh, it must have crashed this morning. And so they made an estimation based on that. And Roscosmos, the Russian space agency that's sort of responsible for this thing now, has made an official statement that it landed in the Indian Ocean at 1:24 a.m. Winnipeg time. So that gives you a sense of where you're hopefully in bed at that time. But that level of precision might be smoke and mirrors by the Russians trying to show more knowledge of what really went down than what they actually know.
So the belief is that this spacecraft did survive re-entry then?
Well, it was built in a way that it could survive landing on Venus, and so it takes a lot to destroy something like that. And we've seen that pieces of spacecraft, SpaceX rockets and things like that are supposed to be, that they would burn up on their way back into Earth, don't always burn up. I mean, there was a big chunk of a SpaceX spacecraft that landed in Saskatchewan about a year ago, and there was a house in Florida where something landed on a guy's house, and this is happening more and more frequently. I mean, there are tens of thousands of pieces of things up there, and most of those don't have plans. Like, they just sort of get launched and, oh, we got an orbit. I guess at some point it'll go away on its own. And so this way of thinking really is not sustainable, and it's starting to change, but even now it's a bit of a mess. And so it's quite possible that this thing survived re-entry. It's quite possible that it survived re-entry, splashed into the Indian Ocean. That's the best guess as to where it landed, and sank to the bottom. And that maybe someday a submarine is going to find this thing. I mean, that's a pretty good find if somebody finally finds that thing. Yeah, but it's also possible it got destroyed on the way in.
Is it valuable? Should people be searching for it? Could we learn things from this spacecraft still?
Well, I mean, you're going to have to search the entire Indian Ocean and the bottom of it at that. And, I don't think that the likelihood, if you set out to find it, is very good, because we don't have good data, or at least if there are good data about where it came in, they are not publicly known. There may be some billionaire somewhere that has a bunch of cameras set up that knows exactly where it is and plans to go get it and then sell it for a profit or something like that. But to my knowledge, this is just another one lost to the seas of time, so to speak.
All right, don't get your maps out and start looking then, Dan.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt. I mean, any excuse to go to the Indian Ocean, you should go there. There's beautiful stuff there, and not to mention this. So, yeah, you should go anyway. Go have a look.
All right, thanks, Dan. Great speaking with you as always.
Thank you.